What's going on YouTube? This is part 3 of my crash course on Syndicate missions and how to kind of set up your Syndicate safe house and what to do with people, where to put them, so on and so forth. So I'm now the 13 missions left, so I'm going to do what I can within the 13 missions, and then I can continue this series in a couple of days when I got more missions up, just so you guys can get a hands-on feel of what you're going to do. I expect this to be a total of maybe a 10-part series, just to give you a crash course into this kind of thing, as the title suggests. So if you guys are interested in this, or you know someone else who is interested, please feel free to share and like, subscribe, and if you have any ideas of any other kind of content you're interested in, feel free to send me a message. Without further ado, let's put our next map in. So we have a Beyond map, hooray! Hoping my loud neighbors don't decide to rev their engines outside my door this time. We'll see. Alright. Oh, looks like we have a research lab. That's good, that's good. So since we have a research lab, let's see if we can rush for it real quick. Don't see it super visible. I did find the bosses though. I guess that's cool. Can I go back when I find the bosses? No, I gotta kill the bosses first. Alright, let's dispatch them quickly. Or they dispatch us, we'll see. So these guys get a potion and run. Alright, as I have discussed in my last videos, there's a little bit of a nuance on, how you set up Syndicate. It doesn't necessarily have to be one way or the other. I'm setting mine up in this way, so I don't oh, it was right at the start. So I don't expect you to follow my exact instructions, nor do I expect anyone to, think that my my methodology is ideal. I do it the way I like to do it because that's the way I'm most comfortable with. If you find a better way, please feel free to share with me, or feel free to use it over my method. Oh, there we go. There's that's what I'm talking about when everything procs. So let's see. We have 3 people. Frici. There we go. Frici executed. Immediately goes to rank 3. So now we have the situation where Gravicius is yet again here in the house. He went down. He didn't really give me intelligence for 3 turns because my intervention already filled up. So now he's just a floater. So then I can go to It That Fled. It That Fled doesn't really say he has anything, but what I can do is I can either release Gravicius, and if I release him, he'll just be a floater again, or I can interrogate him. Now when I interrogate him, he has 0 stars and he's not affiliated with the house, and then I can see what he has. Remove all rivalries in Immortal Syndicate. Never do that. You want rivalries. So we're just going to release, and then we're just going to leave and enter the next map. Now that we have Varichi and It That Fled to rank 3, we have the biggest hurdle out of the way. Let's just delete this, I don't care. All we do from here, let's see, we have any more, we have a couple more Baldur's Rest. Let's change the map. I don't want to change that. What about you? Can't you? So, we got the biggest hurdle out of the way, which is getting them to rank 3. So as you saw, I do have a guy that's floating around in my Syndicate. He's not affiliated to research, he's been interrogated. Now one thing to know is that if they go from 1 star to 0 stars, they are unaffiliated to any house, and if they're in a house at 0 stars and you interrogate them, they lose all affiliation to that house, and basically, I believe this is the case lore-wise. They tell they tell Katarina that he's a traitor and he's been feeding intelligence, and they don't want anything to do with him, so he doesn't appear in that house. In the game, though, that's not always the case. Sometimes it'll happen, but a lot of the times it won't happen that way. So, oh, there we go. We have another research lab. So let's just go ahead and kill everything real quick. This, all right. So let's go about killing as much as we can, as fast as we can. I'm just gonna go to the final room because the last few times I've tried. Oh, we got one spawned again. Is there anyone else gonna come to help? No? Just gonna be Varici, huh? Alright, well, we got unlucky again. Varici is removed from the Mortal Syndicate. You don't want that, but you also don't want to interrogate him because he's already gotten his 3 stars. So we're just gonna do this, and we're gonna leave the map. And normally, obviously, I'd be doing this along with Conquerors and spawn my Cyrus, but it's in the league, I don't really need a lot of things, and apparently I got my Conqueror up even though I didn't kill a lot of the bosses, so it's whatever. Like I said, I will keep going until I am down to, 0 missions, just to give you a look at what you do. It takes, on average, about 100 to 200 June missions total between your white maps all the way up to your yellow maps to get your house to a point where it is on mine, where you're only farming the 2. Now, as you saw, I've been pretty unlucky. I have gotten Varici as the sole proprietor of my laboratory 3 times now. That's not really normal considering he has rivalries all over the board and I have 40% chance to encounter more enemies. And that's 10% individually, but it's also 40%, so normally you'd find like at least 4 or 5 people one of the times, but it happens, sometimes you just don't. Just kind of quickly make quick work of everything. See if there's anything down here. Here we go. Here's a research lab. Alright. Now, let's see if anything cool happens in here. Oh, there we go. We have 2 spawned. Who do we have? Do we have anyone that's not in the normal? Oh, there's Ditafled and Varici again. Alright, so let's see. Sometimes what you'll get, let's see, Varici becomes leader of research, and Ditafled and Varici become rivals. So that's fine. So they're already rivals, but that doesn't really matter. Varici is always gonna want to be the leader. For some reason, he likes to be the leader of research, so let him. Whenever that happens, he becomes leader. Ditafled isn't the leader anymore, and you get 6 benches that give you 3 white instead of 3, and you only get 3 pure breach stones. But usually, when he has bargain, he'll have a second option that'll be like 48 to research intelligence as well. This time he has removed rivalry, so you just release. Basically, that whole round was a wash, but a good thing is when they do stuff like that, it still gives you at least 3 intelligence. As long as it's not interrogation and you do anything with them, it's 3 intelligence. Aside from releasing, if you do release them, I don't think you get any intelligence, if I'm not mistaken. We are down to 10 missions left, so I'm just gonna turn off chat real quick. There you go. So as you learn the basics of, you interrogate someone when they're at 0 stars to do this, so on and so forth, it becomes pretty like second nature. It is a complicated kind of thing to learn at first. As you learn more about it, it becomes easier and easier. Just following this methodology of, executing certain people to get them out of the house or get them to rank 3. Just another thing, it might be coming a little late, but another thing you can remember is if you want someone out of your house, never execute, always interrogate until they are 0 stars. They will not want anything to do with their house if they are, anything but 0 stars. So let's see what we have. This house has 1, 2, 3, 4 people, right? So ideally you would have 5 people in this house. And since we have Gravicius here, what I'm going to do is instead of feed intelligence into this house, I'm just going to release him and go into my next map. Though I think this is Elrion, right? This is Elrion, so see if we can make 5 chaos off of a ring. I will say this, if I had the ability to play this with, what do you call it, 3 encounters like PC does, be pretty good. I'm down to 9 missions. This is by far one of the more unluckier runs I've had with Syndicate, but it happens, so just gonna keep our heads up and keep grinding away. See if we can't get us some crazy stuff going. How about that? There we go. So let's see. Grind. What do we have? We have a transport again. Alright. So maybe we'll see Gravicius in transportation this time. Maybe we'll get back up. I've been really unlucky for these videos. Like, I've only had one person come up a couple of times, and when they're rivalries, for one, they usually show up with friends, and two, let's grab that. And two, there's usually at least one of the watchstones that I have will pop. Alright, right here we have 3 people that came up. See, this is pretty good. Alright, we have Riker, Torel, who else? And Tora. Alright, Riker, Corel, Tora. Tora is 2 stars, so let's say we, get her up to rank 3. What does this do? Nothing. You, nothing. Well, unfortunately, it didn't give me the option for Gravicius to, come over here. He didn't show up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over here to Riker, interrogate him to get intelligence, and go to Corel, and just release him. Alright. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to call it for part 3 of this video. Now, just to give you a progress report on what we've done, within the past few maps, let's go to our June. Within the past few maps, we have managed to make a rivalry. The rivalry is between Gravicius here and that fled. Rivalries are always good. However, because Gravicius is floating and he doesn't want to come back to this house anytime soon, there's kind of an issue there. He's a problem. He doesn't need to be in this house at all, because if he's in this house, he can become leader, and you don't want that. So, what we're going to try and do within the next map or 2, or, a few missions, is we're going to either move him back into the house he was in, which is Intervention, or move him into Transportation over here. However, it's unlikely he's going to go into Transportation because I'm about to get 12 intelligence, and that'll fill up my house. Now, once you get just a little bit of luck, doesn't have to be a lot, doesn't have to be crazy, you're going to start seeing what I mean by all of these people will fuel intelligence into this one house. All of them will be full. You never run any house that isn't research, and then when you run research, you start getting, more and more white sockets, or with it that fled, you upgrade to pure. Obviously, you need a tier 3 at that fled to be pure breachstones, and to give you a kind of what it looks like, I've got a whole bunch of pure breachstones just sitting here laying around. Yeah, I plan to either sell them or use them, I'm not sure yet, and I'm going to upgrade these as well. Hopefully we get some Ul-Natil shields. Maybe we get a level and we get a bunch of Ul-Natil shields, who knows. Thank you for joining me here yet again. I will be posting part 4 up relatively soon, probably tomorrow. I do appreciate everyone who has come and visited my channel up until now, and if you have any questions or even suggestions or recommendations for content even, I would be glad to cover it. This is a game I love to play, and I don't mind sharing my knowledge with people and trying to help out the newer people, or even people who are veterans that don't know a lot about certain aspects of the game. I don't mind helping them out either.